Welcome in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed your Super Bowl Sunday, but we're back in the main studio. It's time for episode 3 of season 22 of Hitting the Field. I'm your host, Edgar Rodriguez, and today we have a packed show for you. We have NBA All-Star talk. We have Orlando Storm talk. That's right, football is returning to Orlando. And finally, we are settling the debate. Who is the best soccer player of all time? You won't want to go anywhere. Hitting the Field starts right now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Like I said, I'm your host, Edgar Rodriguez. To my left-hand side, Austin LaManna, and making his main show debut, his Hitting the Field debut on the big desk, it's Matthew Paulbrook. Boys, one word to describe your Super Bowl. Go.
I'm going to go disappointing, honestly. Okay. I don't know about you guys.
Didn't like the defensive game, didn't like the defensive matchup. You neither?
I would say, this is kind of unfair, but boring.
Boring. Defensive. Let's go
That's
defensive.
a good way to describe it, honestly. That's a good way to describe it.
Be too harsh,
Let's go. Okay. There you go. Let's go defensive. But that's not what we're talking about to start today's show. We are talking NBA All-Star Game, guys. The rosters got released just recently.
For East and West, yeah.
East and West. Let's start with the East, Austin. What caught your eye?
Honestly, it felt like a good mix of just, obviously you have the fresh blood, I feel like, but a lot of players who've been around for a while, like Brunson, obviously, 29 years old, 3-time NBA All-Star champion. I wish I was doing that when I was 29 years old. Bro, if I'm doing that when I'm 29, I'd be so happy.
It's not bad.
But yeah, and then we also have Giannis as well in there. Then we have Cade Cunningham, who I thought was very interesting. He's kind of, fresh new blood for the NBA. He's been there for 5 years with the Pistons, but honestly, I haven't really taken too much notice of him the last couple of years until this most recent season.
Pistons, #1 seed in the East right now at the moment. They've been leading the East actually since my birthday, November 7th. That is almost 3
Nice little birthday gift to you right there.
Nice little birthday. I'm a Knicks fan though, unfortunately, but yes, they've been going so well, and what JB Bickerstaff has done over the last couple of years, won Coach of the Year last year, of course. Cade Cunningham, now 2-time All-Star. Jalen Duren, who I've been watching ever since he came into the league. He's been amazing this year and made his first All-Star appearance this year.
Yeah.
So a lot of fresh blood, first-time All-Stars this year for the East and the West. And I'm excited to see what's going on.
Especially with just the Pistons.
Yes.
I mean, they haven't been a good team, truly, in my personal opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with this.
No,
so that's what I'm going to say.
it is factual. Since 2008, they never won a playoff game up until last year.
Haven't even been close.
Yes.
And I was going to bring that up. Cade Cunningham, of course, the face of the revival of this program. I mean, this franchise was not even, like you said, not even dreaming about the playoffs, and now they are in the pole position to make it. I want to talk Giannis though with you, Matthew. Okay.
Ooh. Yeah.
What do we even say about the deadline saga? What do you think is going to happen in the near future with him?
Well, Giannis, there was no trade package from what we hear. There was no trade package that was good enough for the Bucks. We had the Heat in the talks, Bulls, my Knicks were in the talks as well, a bunch of teams.
All the big names.
Yes, all the big names. Yeah. But no package was good enough, it seems, for Milwaukee. And we'll see what happens this offseason. I feel like they are more poised to make a move during the offseason for Giannis. Because
that's your prediction? That's your prediction?
Yes, that is prediction, and I feel a lot of people have been talking about that because they're going to have more space to move, and Giannis is going to have more agency in what kind of move he wants to make, especially during the offseason. It's much easier than the mid-season.
Austin, do you see a world where Giannis is frozen out of the Bucks for the rest of the season?
Honestly, do I see him being frozen out? I don't know.
You think that's too harsh?
I think that's too harsh, honestly. I think that's harsher than what I was saying about the Super Bowl. I'm not going to lie to you right there.
Yeah.
But, no, I don't see that, no.
Well, we will clarify. I mean, he's been out for 4 to 6 weeks. He's going to be reevaluated. Let me get my words out.
English.
Reevaluated after the All-Star break around about. He's been out since mid-January, so we'll see what happens. And there's rumblings around whether or not he'll be shut down for the rest of the season because the Bucks are way out of playoff contention right now at the moment. I think 11th seed in the East at the moment. Very disappointing season in all due respect.
Yeah, the Bucks having a very bumpy season so far. Let's move on to the West. Let's move on, of course.
I feel like the West leans even more into the newer athletes, I would say.
Yeah, a plethora of fresh talent. Of course, Wembanyama headlining that. Nikola Jokic as well. But of course, you have Curry, you have Doncic, you have your heavy hitters who
Perennial players.
know at the start
Victor's
of
my
preseason.
standout personally. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Why?
I mean, let's just talk about this real quick. 23.9 points per game, and he recently exceeded that against Dallas, having 29 points per game. I mean, that is just truly beautiful right there. A field goal percentage of almost 51%, and he's only 22 years old.
Yeah.
Come on, he's only 2 years older than me. I mean, like trust me, like if I was a basketball all-star, I mean, like I would be really inspired right now.
Man.
But no, I mean, he's truly my personal standout.
Matt.
Honestly, I'm going to talk about the emergence of Denny Avdija for the Portland Trail Blazers, right from Israel.
Good choice, I like that.
Yeah. Drafted in 2020, spent years with the Wizards, got traded to the Trailblazers last year, folks. And he's had a lot of talent. He's full of talent. And this year, averaging over 25 points per game. He's fully deserving of that roster spot. And also Jamal Murray. Now, Jamal Murray, if you can recall back to the days in the bubble, how good he was in the Denver's run to the conference finals that year. Then, of course, 2023. I mean, he's been around, and he has been the second guy next to Jokic for a good 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And it's honestly crazy, folks, that it is very crazy that this is his first All-Star appearance, because it feels like he's been an All-Star.
I feel like he's gotten better every single year.
Yes, he's averaging over 25 points per game right now. And ever
All-Star
since
numbers.
he's held it down ever since Jokic has been injured for around about a month. He's back now. But the Nuggets are poised to be championship contenders this year.
For sure.
Contenders in the West with the Thunder and with the Spurs. And I'd expect the Nuggets maybe to make the finals this year and representing the West.
They'll be in
If
the
I was
fight.
betting, I'd bet on the Nuggets, honestly.
You'd bet on the Nuggets?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't bet that often.
I'm not a betting man either.
Yeah,
this isn't HGF bets, mate.
Bets is on Thursday, Austin.
Yes.
Don't jump the
It's
gun.
okay, it's
Don't jump
okay.
the gun. I wanted to talk about Wemby just a little longer, guys. Is it safe to say he's the funnest player to watch right now in the NBA?
Yes,
player?
most intriguing.
I'd say so. I can go with that.
Most intriguing player. I just think the amount of potential that he has and how big he is and how tall he is, and he's obviously quite a talented player all around.
What is he,
Contributes.
7'4" right now?
Yeah,
7'4"?
7'4", and he's so young.
Unbelievable.
And the problem coming into into his career, coming to the NBA, was what about the injuries? And he's missed some games this year. Had the blood clots last year that put him out from February onwards.
That's right.
But honestly, no freak injuries so far, and so far so good. So expect the Spurs to be.
If only
all
SGA
around,
was not having so many injuries right now.
Yeah. Oh, well, SGA,
yeah, of course
yes.
he's going to be probably the main exclusion,
Yeah.
right, of the All-Star
Unfortunately.
game. Shea, who's become the face of the NBA. I think that's
1000%.
safe to say. I mean,
I remember talking about Shea all the time when I
it-
made show last
yeah.
semester with Nick Cohen and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Honestly, it's a very arguable who the face of the league is
For
right
sure.
now.
Yeah.
At the moment.
There's multiple.
Anthony Edwards and all that, but I think it's way more complex than being who is the best player at the moment. And SGA winning MVP last year is clearly one of the best in the league.
Let's
Still
talk
bummed out about Shea being out. Still bummed out about that.
Yeah, well, we have next year. We always have next year.
Yes.
And the year after. And the year after that. Let's talk about the reserve pool, guys. Now, huge names in here. Of course, the likes of Kevin Durant, the likes of Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
LeBron James, though. The
Yeah.
first time in his career that he's in the reserve pool. Quick thoughts, Austin.
You know, a lot of people think that's disappointing. I don't. For context, anyone who doesn't know, the reserve pool is kind of like the substitute team, pretty much for the NBA. If you're there, you're kind of like a substitute player. And honestly, I mean, he's been in for so long now. I feel like it's just more of a passing the torch. A lot of people think that's disappointing. I don't. I'm like, okay, it's a passing of the torch. I don't see anything wrong with that. Plus, too, he's still on the team.
Correct. Yeah, he still got selected.
It is Luka's team right now at the moment,
Yeah.
and he's 41, folks. This is his 22nd time reaching the All-Star, and he's honestly grandfathered into being, for lack of a better phrase, grandfathered into
That's a good way of
making the
putting it.
All-Star team every year.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. Matt, I know you wanted to touch on the new format of the All-Star game.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
course, NBA taking a different route. Your thoughts? Do you like it? Are you against it?
I like how the league is trying to make it happen. They're definitely inspired by the Four Nations face-off in the NHL last year of USA versus World.
Yes.
Here it is. Here is how it is right now. So USA versus World format featuring a 3-team, four game, 12 minutes each per game, and USA Stars, USA Stripes, and then the World International players plus Karl Anthony Towns and 4 games each. I like how they're trying it, but I feel like you can't really fix this. It's not how it was like 25 years ago. The entire world has changed, and the prominence of the All-Star game has changed along with it. And it's honestly, to put it bluntly, it's honestly a gimmick right now at the moment.
I feel a new format's kind of just overall messy. I mean, I was kind of reading it up online, and I don't know if you felt the same way, Andrew, but I was reading it, and I'm like, wait, hold on, I got to reread this again. I'm like, wait, what? Did you guys feel the same way about that, or no?
I mean, look, leagues have the option to take whatever route they want, right? We always see East against West, right?
It just feels like the route they're taking is a construction route. It feels very messy. It doesn't feel finished.
Right. Well, that is to be seen, of course.
Yeah.
It's the first time. I'm going to give it a chance. But we've seen the likes of the MLS, for example, right? Invite international clubs to play the MLS All-Stars.
Yes.
Now, recently, they've kind of done the opposite to what the NBA did. Now they're doing Liga MX, right? So the Mexican All-Stars against the American All-Stars. I feel like if there's any place where it's easy to experiment for leagues, it's the All-Star game.
I agree with
Matthew, do
that.
you agree?
Yeah, I agree. Look, it's not the main part of what the league is. And you get the space to try new things. But honestly, the NBA All-Star, NFL Pro Bowl, MLB All-Star game, all these All-Star games for these different leagues have all suffered the same fate, to be honest. And there's a lack of incentive for these players to really try hard in these games. So, honestly, I don't really know, man. I don't know.
Exactly.
It feels like just an experimental time. That's really when you can experiment and do what you want.
It's up in the air always, right, with the All-Star game, and it's always under scrutiny, right?
Yeah.
Just the league overall, right? Adam Silver, of course, the commissioner, always under scrutiny. But maybe this will be the time where maybe he got it right.
I hope. I hope.
That might be a later episode on Main Show later this semester.
It might be.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you guys aren't going very far, okay? Because we have another segment to cover. Orlando Storm football is back in Orlando. Don't go anywhere. Quick interruption. We'll be right back for your show. For now, let me give you a quick rundown of what the Hitting the Field Network has planned for you. My name is Edgar Rodriguez, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field Season 22, live streaming every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. There, you'll find me and our expert guests talking about everything in the wide world of sports. On Tuesday, get ready because it's Season 10 of Nighttime. Hosted by Andrew Gregg and Joe Geiger, Nighttime keeps you up to date on everything happening in the world of college sports and UCF athletics. Moving on to Wednesday, we have Season 8 of The Combine, hosted by our very own Kathleen Moore. This podcast takes a deep and technical dive into everything NFL, and you won't want to miss that. On Thursday, we go live with Bets, where our Bets boys, Ben Huber, Augie Aronson, and Scott Harris, will give their expert opinion that might just make you some money. On Friday, Season 4 of Girls Got Game takes over with only the hottest topics in women's sports, hosted by none other than Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores. And to round out the week, Season 3 of HGFC comes on Saturday, hosted by Octavius Lawrence and Santiago Molina. Soccer never stops, and HGFC will be your stop for everything in the world of football. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where you can find non-stop additional content, as well as stay updated on all HTFN news. Lastly, leave a like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube. That's all I got. I'm Edgar Rodriguez, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your show.
When the sky darkens, a storm is brewing. An unstoppable force of nature, ready to unleash. Unpredictable, unwieldy, and roaring with power. Orlando Storm. Fear the fury.
We are back to talk UFL, and if you haven't seen that logo before, it's because that's a brand new franchise right here in the city. Beautiful. The Orlando Storm bringing spring football back to Central Florida. Austin, initial thoughts after seeing that hype video. Are you excited about this new project?
I'm excited for it. I'm not gonna lie, I saw that teaser. I was thinking of Stranger Things for whatever reason. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's those vibes.
I'm not gonna lie to you on that one. But no, I'm excited, especially with the coach, Anthony. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Let's go all the way back. Obviously, he was in the NFL. But let's go prior to that.
Sure.
West Virginia University. He was let's see here, I got the notes right here. He was one of the most successful tight ends in history for the school. In addition, he was going to the NFL real quick.
Yeah.
He was part of not one, not two, but 5 teams. I mean, come on. Like, that is just wow. The New York Jets, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, St. Louis Rams, Arizona Cardinals, the Kansas City Chiefs, all in the span of 11 years. You hear that, you would think 25 years. No, only in the span of just over a decade. That is truly just amazing, in my opinion.
And he has previous experience, of course, with the Battlehawks.
Oh, yes, of course.
Another big name when we talk about, of course, the XFL and the USFL in the past. Those might be more familiar names. Of course, those two leagues have essentially merged now, Matt, for this UFL, correct? And so we've seen this before, though. We've seen spring football be tried here in Orlando. What makes you think that this time it's going to go as good as it's ever been?
Well, you talk about Anthony Becht there, Austin. A guy with this experience and the success he's had with the St. Louis Battlehawks, and he's a veteran within the spring football circuit. To have success like that is going to build stability for this franchise. And with spring ball, it is a question as to whether the stability of the league, yes, there's viewership, but really, is anyone going to tune in enough for this league to sustain itself for that long? That's kind of the problem that you guys with that spring ball does have.
Yeah.
But honestly, I want to talk about DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robertson.
Go for it.
Okay.
A guy like that with NFL experience, that's to add to the stability. He's actually only one of 4 starting quarterbacks that are in the UFL at the moment that have NFL regular season experience. So that's the type of talent that is in here in Orlando. So I'm really excited for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And not to mention Anthony, too. I mean, he's brought in over almost 25 players into the NFL. I mean, a good example of this, A.J. McCarron of St. Louis, previously with the Cincinnati Bengals. Just as one example, but I mean...
Proven track record.
Yeah,
Love it.
exactly.
Yeah, and you can't underestimate, right, the value of having that NFL experience. Bringing it to the UFL, of course, if we compare levels, obviously a step below the NFL, right? But it's still a chance for players to prove themselves and maybe get back there in the future.
These players are so hungry. These guys don't earn $1 million a year.
Right.
The minimum salary, yes, it is $60,000 a year, which, you know, in all standards is actually really good. And the highest salary is probably around $400,000. It's not really that clear.
Compared to the promised land, though.
Yeah,
right.
compared to the promised
And these
land.
guys, we've got to think of it. These guys worked their entire lives through, you know, elementary on the way to like middle school, like through their entire lives to get to the NFL. That's in the back of their minds, folks. But then they're so close, but so far, and they're not there quite yet. So you got to think these guys are really, really hungry to prove themselves and get, say, on a training camp roster.
And with a person like Anthony, I feel like he can see that.
Yes, he can see that. And with 43 players on the roster, you got to think all 43 players have the NFL in their back of their minds, and they're thinking from, you know, August, July, they're thinking training camp roster, then I make the NFL.
Correct.
And that's their mentality pretty much every year. So these guys are hungry hippos.
And Austin, I mean, look, the UFL is the place to prove yourself.
Yes.
Right? Of course, college football is of course, most eyes are on that, right? When it comes to anything other than the NFL, right? But the UFL now has the opportunity to provide the platform for those players to go on, you know, hopefully later in their career to the NFL and, of course, further their careers there. Another question I had, guys, for this new franchise, do we think that the UFL is going to be a more feasible solution moving ahead for spring ball? Or,
Are you talking about being successful in spring ball?
yeah, just overall as a league. Of course, it competes with so many things, right? And usually in the spring, football isn't the first thing that comes to mind.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you obviously have the Super Bowl right at the beginning of spring, but that's like right at the beginning. It's like, okay, Super Bowl's done, and then you move on.
You move on,
Yeah. But, and I don't know, UFL, I looked it up. In 2024, they had, on average per game, 800,000 views. And then for the championship, they had 1.6 million.
Right.
But then you go to 2025, and it drops, 600,000 views. And then for the championship game, it was only 1 million. So, I don't know. We have the Orlando Storm, which I think is going to increase that a little bit. But I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to be honest. I kind of see it just, I don't see it raising. I don't see it lowering. I kind of just see it staying plateau.
steady.
Yeah.
Anywhere from that 600 to 800,000 range.
Honestly, I don't think we can give a fully educated answer on this. I will say, just give you the facts. With Sunday Night Baseball leaving ESPN last year, now that prior spot has gone to Phil for these UFL games, folks, and Fox, ESPN, ABC. These are all national TV games, so.
And three of their games are going to be on ESPN, with multiple other ones being on Fox, and their last game against the Defenders on ABC. Yeah,
and I'm talking about the UFL altogether, but yes, there is exposure out there, and I don't really think we can give an educated answer. They have the backing. All the teams are owned by the league. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's involved.
Yeah.
Fox is, they own 50% of the league, and ESPN is an investor in the league itself. So there is backing there, but honestly, we'll just see. We will see.
We will see. The franchise will be playing at Inter and Co Stadium, of course, the home of Orlando City and Orlando Pride. Gentlemen, it was a pleasure to spend 2 segments at Hitting the Field here on the big desk. Matthew, even a handshake.
Yeah,
Even a handshake. There we go. But don't go anywhere, because the soccer GOAT debate is next. Ronaldo or Messi? We'll be giving you our answer.
Never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who?
Marcus?
You good?
I'd give them one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
Thanks for sticking around, everyone. We have one more segment for you today. We've talked basketball, we've talked football, but now it's time for football. Okay? Yeah. It's time for soccer. And joining me, Francisco Vera and Anya Garibashvili. Guys, how about you guys? What did you think about the Super Bowl last night?
I thought the halftime was better than the actual game, to be honest.
Hey, valid point, Anya.
I 100% agree. I actually was spending my evening watching reruns of the Olympics rather than the Super Bowl. So
you know what? Hey, Winter Olympics, shout out. We're going to be covering Winter Olympics all next week, so I hope you come back on it, because that's going to be very fun to talk about. Of course, so many headlines, right? But anyway, we don't have time for that this week because we are talking Messi or Ronaldo. The soccer GOAT debate is here. Sean Vaz, of course, bringing this idea up. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so let's get started then. Francisco.
Okay.
Who do you think is the best? Who do you think is the GOAT?
I think the greatest of all time is Lionel Messi. Lionel Andres Messi.
Okay, now I want you to go in depth, okay? Prove yourself right, and then Anya, I'll give you the floor.
Now, first of all, looking at the graphic here, over 1,300 goal involvements, right?
Can't argue against it.
Over 80 trophies, multiple international league trophies, local league trophies, World Cups, something that Cristiano Ronaldo does not know about.
Has never achieved.
A finalissima as well.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they're playing another one this year as well.
Yeah.
So you might add that one as well. 8 Ballon d'Ors to Ronaldo's 5. And now Ronaldo might lead in goals overall. However, Messi does lead in every single other statistic, like assists. And then obviously you have like shots per game. And even he has a better goal per game ratio than Ronaldo with less appearances as well. And I'm gonna leave. And before I toss it to you, Anya, I'm gonna leave with something here, that it has been proven time and time again that Cristiano Ronaldo plays for himself, while Messi plays for the team.
Arrogant.
Is that
what I'm hearing from
Messi
you?
takes a point guard approach to his game.
I like that.
And kind of lifts the team as a whole rather than Ronaldo, who plays for individual statistics.
Wow. Okay. I think you set the bar pretty high for Anya to counter your argument here. Anya, you have Mr. Director's backing on this one. Don't let him down.
I'm trying really hard not to let Sean down. So let's get into Cristiano Ronaldo's statistics.
Go for it.
So we've gone over this. He has over 1,200 goal involvements, which includes goals he's done and assists. He is the top goal scorer in Real Madrid history with 451 goals throughout his time there from 2009 to 2018. He is the top goal scorer in UEFA Champions League history with 140 goals. He's got over 60 trophies. He's a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner. He has played in Spanish, English, and Italian leagues and has gotten titles in all of those. And additionally, I wanted to add this on here. He's the history's most capped male player with over 200 caps. For those who don't know, that is an official appearance for the national team. All I'm saying is Portugal, Ronaldo has Portugal's heart, and he plays for them. Even though he does, as you said, seem to be a bit more arrogant and takes on more of the stardom that a lot of soccer players sometimes have. So arrogance is not exactly an individual aspect of Cristiano Ronaldo's playing style.
Okay, so you wouldn't knock him for that.
No, I wouldn't, not necessarily, because you can have teams that work well together, but you can also have a star player that the team assists as well. So it can really go both ways. It just depends on what is needed from the team that season.
Okay, now something, Francisco, that people bring up time and time again when they're talking about Messi not being as good as Ronaldo, right? However you want to determine that, is that he never played outside of Spain and Europe. Okay. Counter that for me. Why should people just forget about that argument?
Well, because at the end of the day, you see him the way he performed in the Champions League against teams that aren't necessarily from Spain.
There you go.
He has, 4 Champions Leagues?
Yeah.
And he pretty much led the team in every single one of them. So that kills the argument as a whole, because he's playing teams that are not from Spain. He's playing against the talented teams from all over the European continent, and he's beat them all at the end of the day.
He has conquered Europe, conquered Spain, conquered the world even in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Anya, now something against Ronaldo, I think, more recently especially, is that he went and took the money in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Now, think whatever you want about the Saudi Pro League. In my opinion, that's where you go and end your career. You can say the same thing about the MLS, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You can say the same exact thing about the MLS in previous years. However, Messi and the pull he has in Miami, I don't think you can compare that really to what he has in Saudi. Do you agree?
Now, pop culturally, I think Messi does have more of a pull. However, when it comes to how much it affects the league standings, with Ronaldo being in the Saudi Pro League, it has actually raised their rankings above higher than the MLS. So it just goes to prove that, yes, while he is an individual player, he brings the stardom, he brings the rankings no matter where he goes. Now, you can say the same thing about Messi, but people already knew Miami had a soccer team. That's all I'm going to say.
Francisco, your thoughts? I mean, in my opinion, I think Messi right now is the more relevant, might be harsh, but I'm going to say I think he's the more relevant of the two right now.
Yeah. I just think it's also because of the accessibility.
Yeah.
At least, for example, in this country, I really don't know where to watch the Saudi Pro League. Meanwhile, you have the MLS, obviously, since it's a local league after all, that you do have more channels available for it. But at the end of the day, yes, Anya, Miami did have a soccer team before Messi showed up. But if you look at pictures of the stadium, the Inter Miami Stadium, before Messi joined, those stands were empty. Those stands were empty. And now when Messi joined, pretty much the entire stadium is either wearing that pink Messi jersey or the Argentina Messi jersey.
Correct. Now, Anya, I'm going to allow you to counter that argument, though, because we've seen it time and time again. Miami aren't performing well in a game, and at halftime, you see half of those people wearing those number 10s in their bag leaving the stands. So you have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, exactly. And I do also want to bring up, Argentina was brought up with the jerseys. Argentina has won FIFA World Cups before Messi. So him winning a FIFA World Cup with Argentina wasn't exactly something that surprised a lot of people. They've got that big win before. Now, Portugal didn't have it with Ronaldo. Yeah. Honestly, not that up to date with soccer, so I'm not even sure if they have.
No, they do have a European Championship, not a World Cup.
Yes, so they have that, but all I'm going to say, Argentina was already a strong team. Messi definitely did assist and support, but you can't use his FIFA trophy against Ronaldo's lack of FIFA trophy, if that makes sense.
Fair. And people tend to jump on that, right? Oh, Messi has the World Cup, Ronaldo doesn't. Okay, that's it. Argument over. I don't think it's that simple. Francisco, I want to give you one last say. Your parting thoughts if Leo Messi was in the studio right now.
If Lionel Messi was in the studio right now.
Yeah, pretend that was the scenario.
I'd tell him that he's the greatest of all time. And now, with what we've mentioned, Anya does bring in great points. Great talking points. However, before we leave, I want to look at head-to-head competition.
Okay.
Messi versus Ronaldo.
Real quickly.
When they face off.
Yep.
In the 36 they've played against each other, Messi leads in goals.
Mm-hmm.
Messi leads in assists. And Messi has more minutes played, more goals per game, and I'll leave you with this one.
Okay.
More hat tricks.
Anya?
So.
I know this was something we were talking about before we went live, and it was talking about how Ronaldo is penaldo. All I'm going to say, if you're going to have penalties, that just shows you're willing to take the risk. Oh. And Ronaldo has proven time and time again, it does land him sometimes where the risks don't outweigh the rewards, but it goes to show he wants that reward.
Look, Messi is not known for his penalty-taking prowess, so that is maybe something you can knock him for. My personal opinion, Francisco, I'm with you. I'm a Messi guy. I'm sorry. I can't put that aside for this one. Anya, though, you brought up great points. And Ronaldo, of course, is just a freak of nature. I mean, still doing what he's doing at his age. Unbelievable for both of those players. But that brings us to the end of episode 3 of Hitting the Field in season 22. Thank you to everyone in production, everyone who joined me at the desk this week. Anya said it. Winter Olympics are off and running full cylinders in Italy. So stay tuned next week as we recap all of the action there. Take care, everyone.
Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. The rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats.